Hello, my name is Maria Jolicoeur. Welcome to my show, Let's Talk About History. I'm here at the Norwich Free Academy, and the Norwich Historical Society has invited me to film their meeting. So we're going to go inside the Slater Museum here in Norwich, Connecticut, and watch the Norwich Historical Society. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy my show. Thank you so much. Hello, my name is Maria Jolicoeur, and from Let's Talk About History, and I'm here with Regan Miner. She is the project coordinator from the Norwich Historical Society. And Regan, can you briefly tell me what your role consists of as project coordinator?
My role as project coordinator is various different roles. Currently, I'm working on promoting the William B. Stanley Lecture Series, which is tonight, so I'm hoping all my hard work paid off tonight. And another role is coordinating whatever projects we have. For example, I created a couple chocolate bars for sale, and rat cards and brochures, and we're also working on a visitor center, so that's what I'm also working on as well.
Okay, and where do you usually meet your meetings? Where are your meetings, and when are they, if people would like to go to a meeting?
Yeah, sure. We have our monthly meetings at the Buckingham Memorial in downtown Norwich, 307 Main Street, and we meet at 4:30 on the last Monday of the month.
Okay. Do you have a phone number or email address if anyone's interested in contacting you?
Yeah, sure. Well, the Historical Society's phone number is 860-886-1776, kind of a cute number. And my email is regan.miner@yahoo.com.
Okay, thank you so much. What will be going on tonight at the Slater Museum?
Well, tonight we have our annual William B. Stanley Lecture Series, this lecture series is to honor the late Bill Stanley, who was a huge advocate for Norwich's history. And so tonight we have a speaker from the Lake Champlain Maritime Museum, and he will be discussing the discovery of Benedict Arnold's intact Spitfire, which was found in the bottom of Lake Champlain, and discuss the Revolutionary War battles on Lake Champlain as well.
Thank you so much, Regan.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Norwich has such rich history from all periods, starting with the Mohegan tribe, and we've still got a great relationship with the Mohegan tribe. Through the 18th century, during the Revolutionary War, Norwich was the 12th largest city in all of the colonies, and a number of influential people came from Norwich during that time. Samuel Huntington, who was the President of the United States under Congress assembled, Christopher Leffingwell, who provided so much to the cause, and a guy named Benedict Arnold, and a few others probably. During the 19th century, Norwich was a hotbed of abolitionists, which we're very proud of. And in the last half of the 19th century, it is said that there were more millionaires per capita in Norwich than anywhere else. And for instance, this building was a gift to NFA by William Slater's, John Fox Slater's son, William Slater. Wonderful, wonderful venue. And then early 20th century, very good history as well. And Norwich Historical Society has a very simple mission, although it's not easy to undertake, and that is to preserve, protect, and promote Norwich's rich history. Bill Stanley, many of you knew, was the co-founder of the Norwich Historical Society, a past president before I took over. And in my opinion, made Norwich's rich history more important and more interesting to more people than anyone else. So when he passed away 4 years ago, the Historical Society Board said we needed to honor his memory somehow, and came up with the concept of the William B. Stanley Lecture Series. where every year we bring distinguished historians to Norwich. I think he would be very happy. Okay, I would like those people who are here who are on the Norwich Society Board of Directors, please raise your hand. You don't have to stand up. There's a few in the back. There's Lottie. There's a couple other people. And we've got little name tags on. I'd also like to recognize the William B. Stanley Lecture Series Committee. Myself, Lottie B. Scott, Regan Miner, who is also the project's coordinator for the Norwich Historical Society, Michael Aliano, and Brendan Sullivan, who's a student here at NFA. I'd like to thank the Spa at Norwich Inn for hosting Art Cohn during his visit here. It was very generous. And I'd also like to thank the Bulletin, which used to be the Norwich Bulletin, now it's the Bulletin, for promoting both the exhibit and the lecture. And mostly, I'd like to thank the sponsors. This was a rather large undertaking, not only to bring you the lecture tonight, but also to help fabricate the exhibit. If you haven't seen the exhibit, I don't know, it may be open after the lecture. It's certainly going to be open during the school year for the next several months. And it's a wonderful exhibit it's a copy of the exhibit from the permanent one at Lake Champlain Maritime Museum. And let me read the sponsors. I know the radio program, but they deserve special recognition. American Ambulance, William W. Backus Hospital, Chelsea Groton Bank, Chelsea Insurance Company, City of Norwich, Friends of Slater, Mohegan Tribe, the Norwich Community Development Corporation, Norwich Historical Society, Norwich Free Academy, Norwich Public Utilities, and ShopRite. And without them, we would not be here tonight. Please thank them. And a couple other thank yous to individuals. Raymond Brady, are you here tonight? He should be. He's the one who told me about the exhibit up in Vergennes, Vermont. Told me about it about 5 years ago. We had an opportunity to go up there and see the exhibit, and it is wonderful, as I said. And he should be here tonight. I don't know why he isn't. But thank you, Raymond. Vivian Zoe had another commitment tonight. She was here before. She had to go to that. She may be coming back. And she is the director of Slater Museum. She did an awful lot of work along with Eloise Beale of the Lake Champlain Maritime Museum, putting together the exhibit and finding out where to install it, etc. So thank you to both of them. And John Townsend, and he'll be introduced later for a specific reason. I'm glad he's here. So next, I would like to introduce Bill Stanley's son, Bill Stanley Jr., to say a few words about why this is important to him and his father.
I've got a big mouth and my voice carries pretty well, so I'm not going to use the microphone. I want to thank all of you very much for being here tonight. I was mentioning to Art Cohn earlier that this is by far the biggest crowd we've had, and this is the third installment of the William B. Stanley Lecture Series. And Bill is absolutely right, and I would like to acknowledge Bill and the great work and the great leadership that he has demonstrated in advancing the series and advancing the mission of the Norwich Historical Society. Let's give a big round of applause for Bill. As Dad's health began to fail, and he felt that he was a little bit too frail to carry on the leadership of the Norwich Historical Society, he worried a lot about who was going to take the baton and carry on with the leadership of the Historical Society. And I do remember how happy and relieved he was and gratified that Bill had agreed to do it. And his confidence and his happiness about that was not misplaced. I can tell you, when Bill, you say that he would be very happy about this, he would. Benedict Arnold hero, only in Norwich and only with the Bill Stanley Historical Society lecture series would you see that. But you know, that keeps the message alive, and it opens people's minds, which is all he asked, that people would listen and hear the other side of Benedict Arnold. Yup, he was a traitor, but before that, without him, the American Revolution would not have succeeded. We're delighted to have Art Cohn here in Norwich for the first time, and Art, this is your audience, and I'm sure you're going to do a great job. Bill, thank you again for all your great work.
Thank you. Thank you, Bill. I'm going to go back to the microphone. And you reminded me, your father said he was wonderful for taking people out to lunch to convince them to do things. And one wonderful lunch he took me out and said, and this is one of the things I remember from him, if it weren't for Benedict Arnold, we would still all be British. I don't know, I forgot to bring my checkbook, and we cannot take credit cards tonight, but we have some very neat things in the back. Putting on a production like this costs an awful lot of money, and as I said, we could not have done it without the sponsors for sure. But the Historical Society always needs money, and there are neat books back there. There's also a limited edition 100 prints. And this is a long story, I'm going to boil it way down. 1 week before the panel announcing who the sponsors were, this is, let's say, about a month ago, before that was to be fabricated, I called up Vivian and said, we need an image, and it would be ideal to have something from the Norwich Harbor in the 18th century. And I know we got a lot from the 19th century. Do you know of anything from the 18th century? And she thought about it and said, no, to her knowledge and to my knowledge, there is nothing from the Norwich Harbor from the 18th century. So she commissioned a local artist, Jeff Vasington, to paint a painting of the Norwich Harbor as it probably looked circa 1750, when Benedict Arnold would have been going around with his father, who was in the shipping business. So anyway, that's a wonderful thing. Those prints, as I said, there's 100 of them, I think, and they're $20 each. There's books. I think Regan brought chocolates. Christopher Leffingwell chocolates. Any program. But a couple of things that I have learned recently, which I find interesting. Art is a professional diver and diver trainer. He has practiced law in his past life. He is a practicing chaplain. He co-founded Lake Champlain Maritime Museum. And he's a firefighter. So a super interesting guy. Please welcome Art Cohn.